Well. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to wish you a very good afternoon. My name is Silver Sydial, and welcome to the late one with myself. And exciting evening today. Today is Youth Connectionz. I have to make sure that I put the Z to it because you've got to give it that sort of ring to it as it's a youth factor. For the past weeks, I've decided to say, listen, let me actually give the youths a voice. And as a result of that, I'll be the voice because I'm the youth. I'm the one with the voice, and I'm the one which is aiming to be a millennial. So as a result of that, that's what's going to happen. And tonight I'll be having two ladies right behind each other. First one will be Chrissie Okorie. She's a BA student of journalism and a writer, producer. She produced a project called Young and Gifted. And if you see how that is spelled, you realize why. And then after that, I'll be joined by Nana Umoh, finally law student, national student advocate for Black students and academics. Now, before I go into that, I must say that I hope everyone is actually wearing their mask because today is a day where mask. And we're talking about not smoking like in Jim Carrey. But they say the day England shoppers put on their face coverings. But it's very interesting because yesterday I was in a shop and I said to the guy, "Is it mask? Should I put on my mask?" Even though I had on my mask, and he said, "Don't worry, we're cool, man. We're cool here. Yeah, we're cool. We chill." So it's like he's saying, "Hang on a second. To wear a mask is not chill." So, but anyway, that's what is happening now. We need to have our face mask, and that's going to be the thing because COVID-19, that geezer, is still hanging around and he's still somewhere. But now, without further ado, I'm going to take this opportunity to bring on my first guest because I want to make sure that there is the opportunity to be the voice. And I'm going to say good afternoon to Chrissie.
Hey,
Ah, you're there. How are
I'm
you
here.
doing?
I'm good,
I'm
thank you.
good.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on and so prompt. Um, they say sometimes the youths are not on top of it, but I can say without a shadow of a doubt, the youths are on top of it, on time, and ready to
Yeah,
rock and roll. Am I
yeah,
right?
we are. Yes, that's true. We are on top of it.
Yeah. So tell us, how was your day, Chrissy?
It was good. I just did some. Well, today was my off day because I had been doing work for my agency the whole week. So today,
Yes.
let me just rest, clear my mind.
Okay. Did you work for 6 days?
Sometimes I do. I end up working weekends, and I always say I don't work weekends, but I end up putting a weekend in. So
I tell you why I say that because they say in the Bible it said 6 days God worked and then the seventh
yeah,
day he rest.
it's true.
So tell me
I
now.
have to.
Yeah. So tell me now, Chrissy, tell us, what do you do? What's your claim to the world for the youths? What's your claim to fame?
I am a BA journalism student, so I studied journalism at Coventry University. Also, I'm a poet, spoken word artist, and I'm a writer. So I'm trying to dibble and dabble into different aspects of creative writing.
Yeah.
I run my own agency called Corey Agency, so I provide PR marketing services
Mhm.
to like my clients. So trying to work with businesses and creatives to grow their brand and manage their brand. But also, I produce a project called Young and Gifted. So
Yeah.
Young and Gifted is a project I produce under an art organisation called Morocco, which is in Coventry. So we work with refugees and BMEs in the Coventry and Midlands community. So
Mm.
working with marginalised voices to help them use art as a creative way and platform. So with Young and Gifted, I'm just looking to educate young people on Black British history, Black British figures, and Black future, and also just providing them a safe space where they can come and discuss things that they're not able to discuss at school.
Yes.
Because as you can see, like when I was at school, it wasn't really easy, being Black and be able to discuss the problems that you go through. So
Mm.
giving them that safe space where they can talk about it. But I just don't want us to educate them and leave them like other platforms. I want us to be able to educate them, empower them, and give them mentorship when they need it, opportunities to grow. So if
Yeah.
people start businesses, young people, we can start a hedge fund and
Mm.
fund and get funding out there and then give these young people money to start their businesses, but not only give them money, but give them a business mentor to grow them.
Yes.
Also,
Yes.
we're trying to get in different sectors in the UK economy, like in different careers, so we can give these young people mentors. So you're
Yes.
just really showing them taking the dreams and the aspirations that they have and helping them get out there and pushing them out there and facilitating them with the skills that they don't get in the education system. So yeah.
So tell me, I just produced a project called YXNGXFTD. How do you pronounce that?
Young and Gifted. We just like replaced for the X's just to make it look appealing. So when I was doing it, me and my mentor and two other people, we just thought, okay, how can we attract the young people? And then he just came up with the name, one of the guys. We're like, okay, we're running with this. And that was it.
So therefore, by me saying connection with a Z, did I do a good work, or might people do a good work?
Keep it.
Well, we got a thumbs up there.
Yeah, it has to be different as well. It has to be unique because there could be other people with that name, but you tweaking bits here and there makes yours unique and different. So yeah.
Well, as Dan said, and my people would say, well, they say that's SYLBOURNE. That's my style. I am SYLBOURNE. That's Now tell me now, before we go on to that, tell us now how has been locked down with you with COVID? I like to ask young people, how has that been, that experience there with the whole COVID factor there?
I think for me, because I'm a very busy person, so I like running around, so I never got time to really like think about myself or really like work on my mental health and work on just me. So the first couple of weeks of lockdown, I just logged off social media for 2 weeks and I just spent time dwelling and just growing and learning myself as a person. But then it just gave me free time to also start my business. And it gave me free time to also know what I wanted to do after uni. Because for me, studying journalism, I thought I would do PR and going corporate. But then I was just like, do I really want to be in corporate though? Is that where I need to be? Like, what change can I make sitting in an office? So I just decided that I'm going to freelance as a writer and obviously do my agency on the side, but also bring change to the community. Bring some longevity and legacy. So that's how it's been for me.
And also during the same summer period, or the period of discontent with COVID there and the lockdown, and then the whole George Floyd issue in America and the demonstration. What was your take on it? I like to ask young people that take, because it is like during that period of time, so many people were going through so many things. Adults, young people sometimes don't know what to say, how to do it. They got anger, they got these emotions. How did you, as a young person, dealt with that during the course of that time, Chrissie?
I think the George Floyd one was kind of very hard because a lot of people say it's not on our shores, it's in the US. But I think for me, just waking up and seeing videos of somebody actually, that video of him being suffocated to death, like dying in that way, that was just like horrible. So yeah, that was very, very, very bad. And it was very, very emotional. And it was touching because then we had to really deep, like, even though some of us scream this, the rest of the world had to deep that. This is actually a huge issue, and this is something that needs to be addressed. This is something that we need to look into, because not only in the US, but on our land as well, on our soil as well. Like, things like this happen in the UK, but probably we don't see it. Like, racism is here in the UK. We don't see it because it's not shown in the media. But the way his was publicized and everybody saw it across the world, it sparked big outrage. And just to see people come out from all different colors and young people just protesting. I went to a protest in Coventry, and for me it was painful because you see 14, 15-year-olds and you're thinking they shouldn't be out here fighting for their rights. They shouldn't be out here screaming to survive. They should be thinking about their life. They should be enjoying being teenagers. So for them to use a part of their teenage years fighting to be heard and fighting to live is very painful. I think that was very, very painful to see 15 and 14-year-olds and speaking to them and seeing the amount of pain and anger that they have. Shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be like that at this current time.
It's interesting what you said. Seeing 14 and 15-year-old children out there, and yourselves going out there as well. Because you are what?
21.
You're 21. Do you think that this is a battle for young people to be fighting at this time, or they should not have to be doing this?
I think they shouldn't have to be. Honestly, like we've come, you would think, we've come so far from what our great-grandparents had to deal with, from what our ancestors had to deal with. But to be, think, sometimes you feel like you're taking a step back. Like, I just feel like we're backpedaling, we're not moving forward. With the whole George Floyd, I was like, is this 21st century? Is this 2020?
Yes.
And we've seen one of our brothers or our uncle or someone in our community died that way. It was just like, what is going on?
Yes, yes.
It
I,
didn't have to be
and
like.
when you discuss this or talk with your friends, I was speaking to someone the other day, and there was some incident on the road, and he said his daughter gave him all the lowdown as to what was happening. And he
Mm,
said his daughter blocked him from his Instagram, blocked him from the Facebook. And he said sometimes he peep in and it's like a different world. It's like a
mm.
different zone, you know? How is the communication like with other young people during the course of this time in that sphere?
Um, I think they've used with the coronavirus, so you can't really do much. But I feel like they've used social media so well. So it's
Mm.
like loads of talks on like Zoom calls, loads of like talks on like Instagram. People have started to use their passions and their crafts. So I know a lot of artists that have used their artistic craft to
Yeah,
just basically just spill out all their pain. And I just think like social media, I think it's been a powerful tool. But what I
yeah,
don't want it to be is
I
that
think
we're screaming out on social media. So I don't want it to be just, oh, it's just everybody's crying about it now. I want it to be like we're using the social media every single day to talk about these things, because it
yeah,
kind of seems like the movement's kind of died down now that lockdown has been restricted. And that's one of a lot of my friends were saying that's one thing they don't want it to be, like the movement has died down.
yes,
Now we've come out of lockdown, we need to be doing things, we need to be talking about it, we need to also be not even just saying it, we need to, where's the action? We need more action.
mm,
And I feel like when everybody was in the momentum, everything was going great. People were attending protests, people were talking about it on social media, people were sending that out petitions, people were sending out letters to MPs, templates, and then it just like became quiet, and now it's like I don't hear anything. And now everyone's it's like social media's gone back to normal.
so what you're actually saying is that you believe that there's a reason and there's a cause for a continuous uh, I would say protest or lifting our voices to some of the concerns which are out there, the
Yeah.
injustice and inequality.
Yeah, I believe that
Mm,
we should be doing more. We should be having more of these conversations. Like we should be having like a strategy, a strategic strategy to what's next after the protest. That
yeah,
where do we go from here next? That do we continue to talk? Do we message MPs? Do we put on
mm,
workshops? Do we help our own? How do we
yeah,
empower our
yeah,
young people by ourselves? And I
yeah,
think that's one thing I'm passionate about is empowering the young people, like with all the resources that we have. You know,
yeah.
even if we don't have the knowledge, but some of us could help financially. Someone can just even help them with our time,
Yeah.
providing a
I,
safe space for
yeah,
conversation. But how can we do that?
yeah. I want to encourage you not to worry too much about the children in the background. At
Yeah,
least at least we got life and there's
yeah,
excitement. The children are the future. Sometimes in churches, sometimes they say the children keep the children out, but sometimes they bring life and they bring
they
vigor.
do.
So,
You're
so
gonna
allow
hear
them.
them. They're there behind
Yeah,
the door.
that's all right. I want to pick because I understand you do some spoken word, but before I get into that, I want to talk about this aspect specifically as to how the youths can empower the youths. Because in my discussion with you at one point, you mentioned about that you don't want to sit back and wait for the government to make things happen. You believe in that the young people should also create an atmosphere to make things happen as well. You
I
know?
think first of all, it's like us, our being at our age, like I'm 21, and going through that system of the education and knowing a lot of people that system didn't do good for, that it broke a lot of people, young people of color. But
Yeah.
us coming through the education system and being where we are, we should be able to use our platform and our what we have now to empower the youth. Just
Mm,
encouraging them, telling them and I think is first starting by breaking stereotypes that have been put over us,
yes.
telling them that they're more than what they're portrayed as, that they're able to achieve more. But I think it's also like providing them that safe space first for conversation, because we can't empower them unless we know what is it that they want. So sitting down with them
Mm,
and hearing what is frustrating them, what is they want, asking them what they see in their future, or what do they think they're scared of in the
mm,
future, then seeing how we are able to break down them barriers, because we can't go out there and give the youth what we don't know, because the generation under me, their experience is probably a bit different from what I went through. in
Yes.
high school, or what I went through in the education system, but hearing from them like, okay, so what is it about the education system that you don't like? What is it about your future and your career that you're scared about?
Mm.
What is it that you're helping? And when we sit down and we hear them, then we're able to know, okay, this is how we can go about things. But I sometimes feel like, even with Young and Gifted, I was saying to my mentor, I said,
Yeah.
I want to be able to not just run it now, I want to be able to take a step back in the future and watch the young people run Young and Gifted. Watch the young people post content on Instagram. Watch the young people hold meetings. Watch them hold events. So it's like when they're
Mm.
working with us, we're providing them with these skills for them to grow. We're not just doing for them; we're teaching them how to do for themselves. So making it sure that it's for young people, so it has to be youth led. So how can we help the youth? And I think it's really sitting down and speaking to them, speaking to our brothers and sisters, and just saying like, bro, what is it that you're scared about in your future? How has this movement affected you? What do you fear most? What is it about education that you fear most? What is it that you feel that you can't push to get to where you get to? And once we talk to our brothers and sisters and talk to other family members, talk to other young people, then yeah, I think we can get
I
there.
like what you're saying is that there's a breed of young people who is out there who are somewhat being a sort of leadership factor for their own spheres of influence, young people within that era,
Yeah,
and therefore it is becoming, like you have situations sometimes when a father or a mother is not with the family, or the mother or the
yeah.
father is disabled, that
Mm.
child is always stepped up as to be the carer. As you can see many times, you got children who are carers for their
Hmm.
parents sometimes, and you got
Yeah.
children like the elderly who is like taking care of the younger one. Do you
Hmm.
believe that there's a maternal thing which is happening with young people for their fellow young people as well?
Yeah, I do think it is, because I think I've had words with my siblings as well, and I always ask them like, what do you feel like? What is it that you feel? And even the whole movement, I had to realize that maybe because I'm a bit older, it affects me different than they affect them. We kind of have to, the young people, even sometimes with some young people that I interact with, I do ask them, okay, well, how do you guys feel? Like, what is it that is hurting you guys? What is it that you what is in the future you guys scared of? So having those conversations, I feel like we become mentors, but we don't even know it. Maybe because we don't like to
Yeah.
put that word on. We give them that
Yeah.
space, and I feel like give them that reassurance that if they can't talk about it in school, they can come home and talk about it to their brothers and sisters. Well, I know this person that I spoke to, so I can reach out to Chrissy and she can hear me, even if it's not us speaking, but just hearing them. Then maybe that's
Yes.
when we find solutions, because we cannot do for them what we don't know what they need, and they might need things that we don't think they need, but they do need it. You
Yeah.
know.
Now, because I see us not all over the place, but journalism,
Mm.
writing, spoken word. I saw your Instagram bit, and I'm going to want you to do a spoken word or two, if that's okay. Is that okay if I put you on the
Yeah,
spot?
yeah.
Now, what is it about spoken word? Is that another vehicle or channel that you're able to express yourself and tell your story?
I think, yeah, because I think when I was growing up writing poetry, they would tell you how to write. But I think now I've
Mm,
grown older and I started doing spoken word. No one tells me how to write. I just write what I feel and I just let it out, and it's just a good space for me to express my frustrations when I feel like there's no other way to express it. And through
yeah.
spoken word, people have always asked, I didn't know you was passionate about this and this. And I feel like through spoken word,
Mm,
I can really show my passions. So it's been really helpful for me as well, growing up as well and transforming from like a child, like a teenager, to a young adult.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been a great
Yes.
platform to express myself.
And is there like persons who are you look up to, like mentors with spoken word and otherwise, that you would say
Yeah, so
has been an inspiration?
Benjamin Stefani and George the Poet. So those are my two. But I like Benjamin because I have his poem Black Strong and Black and Strong.
Mm,
That is my favorite book, and the way that he writes and the way that he used patois, he doesn't care. Like you can't tell him what
yeah,
to write. Just
yes,
write, and I feel like that is the kind of spoken word we should be advocating, where people can just use whatever dialogue to express themselves. And I think when I read that, I started to say, okay, I don't really have time for the dictionary and really have
yeah,
time to
yeah,
try to
yeah,
spell
yeah.
it nice, or if I put a Z or an S at the end of a word. I don't care. I'm just
So
gonna say
what do? You're creating your own space, your
I'm
sphere of
creating my
influence.
own space, and you're creating. It's like it's just a unique setting, something that makes you different from everybody else. The,
Yes,
and I
yes.
feel it makes him different because his dialogue is different. You barely see him use. It's all patois. And I just love it, and I'm just like, this is good. This is poetry.
So I guess you're interested in going to Jamaica one day.
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, I just did. I just thought this is good. This is
Well,
good.
well, well, if you don't mind, is there a particular one that you'd want to share with us, if anything, Chrissy, before we go?
Yeah. I recently
Yeah.
just wrote a spoken word piece and it's called Rebellion. So this one I
Rebellion.
feel, yeah, it's feel like
You
it's
know,
my
mash up the place or something like that?
hopefully no, I won't mash up the place.
No, go for it, please. I don't mind. Yes, yes.
So it goes. Yes, I am a rebel. Yes, I am loud and proud. I use my words to shut the Babylon down. I stand in places where no one dares to go. No, I have no fear, because my heart is pure and my vision is clear. I fight the fight for all those oppressed, so you can run and tell the rest that Chrissy won't rest until the oppressed are set free, running down the street, carefree. Yes, I am a rebel. Yes, I am loud and proud. I use my words to shut the Babylon down. And that's it.
Right. In Jamaica, in the Caribbean, we talk about Babylon, we talk about the police, you know, I say,
Yeah.
bad boy, Babylon will come, Babylon will come, something like that. But if I ask you the question, when you say, and let's break down this, and I listen to it, and it's very powerful, and I can see
Thank
the
you.
message in it. When you say Babylon now and rebellious, or
Mm.
be a rebel, what do you see the word rebel as? I mean, many people see rebel, but how do you
I,
distinguish rebel? Yeah,
I think for me, being a rebel is doing things that people look at you and be like, so like with me, my hair is red. So people look
yeah,
at me, why do you have colourful hair? And I'm like, because I'm a creative. And I just feel like I just now just do things that people
yeah.
think is shocking. So like when I do my activism, it's like different. I just say what's on my mind, and people look at me and think like, she would say this here.
Mm.
Because I remember I wrote a poem and I performed it for Black History Month, and I had the room like looking at me like, what did she just say? One of my friends said, I've never had anybody just, you're saying what everybody's thinking, but you're just saying it. Everyone's thinking it. Everyone's shy, and I was like, so I just do things like different. I feel like I step outside the box, and people just look at me like, maybe
So,
that's why I'm a creative
yeah.
because I can do
So,
what I
so,
want.
so in essence, what is happening is that sometimes many people want to say something,
Yeah,
but they don't want to say it, and then somebody is a fall guy, maybe like yourself, come out and
yeah,
say it, and they say, "Oh, I wanted to say that so much," you know. Is that
yeah.
where you find yourself in sometimes,
All
whereby
the
you
time,
are?
all the time. And I'm like, guys, like the truth hurts, and if people don't like it, well, sad times. Because if we don't tell the truth, then we're gonna
Yeah,
get nowhere. We have to
yeah,
we talk about the
yeah.
things that matter, and even if it hits hard, maybe they might open doors for change. But if we sit back and
Mm.
just act like puppets, then nothing happens. Rebels are people that don't let people control what they say or do.
Yeah, yeah, and I tell you this, most leaders of today,
Yeah.
and persons, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, even persons like former prime ministers of this country or so,
Mhm.
Eaton, they're all rebels. Everybody's somewhat of a rebel, and the rebels are the one that change the world. You know what I mean? At the same time, and many people who are somewhat deemed as the bad person
Yeah.
turn out sometimes to be the one that was on the right side of history
Hmm.
as well. You know,
Yeah.
listen, I want to thank you so much for coming on for this
Thank you
short
for
space of
having me.
time. Yeah, and it was fun. Now tell us how people can find you, even though I found you.
Um, I'm on Instagram, so my name is just Chrissie Okorie on Instagram. It's Chrissie Okorie on Twitter as well. So yeah,
Yes, yes, and then people can find out more about Young and Gifted as well, which is spelled
yeah.
with an X.
So young and gifted is even on my page as well, on my Instagram.
It's
So
on your page as well.
you can find it. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for joining and keep doing up the good
Thank,
work. And also,
thank.
if you got young people as well who want to just share their passion, anything
Yeah.
like that, please send them to me because every Friday I'm leaving myself open to have young people talk, just like what you did, just inspire because many people don't know and we want to give a voice to people. Kind of goes, as you know, I'm a millennial, I'm young as well, I'm a rebel as well because as you can see, I have no hair without no hair because I choose to be bald. I choose to be bald, even though if I try to get the hair, it won't come. It will try to come, but it's not going to come. But I'm a rebel. As a Babylon system, because I thought you're going to, there's some people going to mash up the place. All right, Christian, listen, all the best, all the best to your family, and thank you
Thank
so much for
you.
coming. And next time, what color would your hair be?
Purple.
Okay, right. Let us know when it's purple. 'Cause it fits right with the color dimension of my show as well, purple.
Yeah.
So let me know so you can come on and tell us the next thing that you're doing. All right.
Yeah, with my purple hair.
Thank you very much, Chrissie.
Thank
All the
you.
best. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go with Chrissie. Very interesting interview, and it's always good when you got young people who are ready to show themselves. Um, before I get on to my next guest, which is Nana, um, I want to show you something which I'm doing called Black Excellence, whereby, as a matter of fact, I've not had any young people in it as yet, but I want to also display and show young people in their splendor as well. 1 minute of excellence. When I saw all the different things which were happening around and the negative images, I said, I want to show young people or show people that when they look, they can see other excellent Black people doing great things and fantastic things or doing things out there. So I'm just going to show this quick video of a good friend of mine, actually grew up in Jamaica, but she's in the States now, and her name is Michelle. And here I'm going to show you Black excellence. Okay, that was Black excellence. See, anything we can do, so much things at this time, fantastic things, and it's all the power is in our hands, where we can be very creative and we can do wonders. And that is 1 minute of excellence, which I call it. And I'm going to be joined shortly by final year law student, national student advocate for Black students and academic, Nana Umoh. In fact, Nana should have been on the show on Wednesday night with Stephen Akinsanya and also Nicholas. And we're joined by, she was replaced by Leslie, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And I said to her, she's got to make it up to me. And she said she will. And today she did it. So without further ado, I'm going to invite my new young associate, Nana. How are you, Nana?
I'm well. How are you?
Cool in the Malibu.
That's good. Living and chilling.
What is it? Living and chilling.
Living and chilling.
Living and chilling. That's right. We're living and chilling. When Nana, listen. As I was saying the other night, because when we realized that you weren't going to come on the show, I said to Stevie, we need to find a lady very quickly because we need to have the dynamics. Because sometimes we have these shows and there's all men, and then somebody will come on, where is the lady?
Yeah.
And then guess what? Again, we'll have something, and they say, where are the men? There's no men around. And now we got all the men now, and they say, where are the ladies?
Yeah. You're trying to control the narrative.
Yeah, to control the narrative, you know. So tell me now, how was your week so far?
Oh, my week was great. I wish we had a 5-day weekend. I wish the weekends were longer. It's too short. Boris Johnson needs to give us longer weekends.
Yeah.
But I've had a good week so far.
You had a good week, fantastic. So you're finally a law student, yes?
Yes, I am.
And the whole aspect of excellence, as you saw that video a while ago, what did you think of that video when you saw that quick 1-minute video?
It just goes to show that Black excellence is what you make it. Everyone is excellent in their own way, whether big, small, like the girl who was just on Who's a Creative. Everybody has the capability to be excellent in their own right, whether you're a chef, a dancer, a lawyer, a barrister. It's like within the Black community, we're so rich in culture, rich in excellence, rich in resources. Like everyone's excellent. It's just giving them the space to share their excellency, you know. So that video, though it was short, really powerful.
Yeah, straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
And I invite you to be one of the Black excellence.
Yeah.
You know? All I need 6 pictures, 6 quotes, and we put it out there. I want to flood the world with lots of people who are saying, because somebody said the other day they saw Forbes, and Forbes said 25 black people to watch. That's it. 25 black people to watch. Listen, man, I'm gonna give thousands to watch. Thousands
Yeah,
upon
and
thousands
thousands, millions.
millions upon millions. Not the
Millions.
world, you know. Now listen,
Mhm.
you're a national student for advocate for black students and academic. Can you
Yeah.
expound on that, Nana?
Okay, so ever since I was in like secondary school, I've had this thing for academics. Whether you're the brightest student or the least, in the academic field, everyone should be given an equal opportunity. So I
Yes,
came from a secondary school which was extremely diverse. Then I went to a sixth form which was less diverse than my secondary school. Then I found myself in a university whereby I was the only person of my color in my law course. So I never really felt inspired. I never really felt like I could achieve anything with my degree because I didn't see anyone that looked like me
yes,
doing what I'm studying. So I was really confused by that. So my predecessor, who's my good friend Lenrick, which I'll give him a little shout out, get very excited about that. He started this campaign called the Black Student Campaign. So it
yes,
helps just promote the lives of the Black students, getting their voices heard. What are their needs in university? Why is it that we don't have that many Black lecturers, BAME lecturers in uni? Why is it in the library there's no Black books by Black authors? So there was a lot of things missing within my university, and our culture was just very much so silent. So he said, you know what, he's not going to take this. He's part of the culture. He loves the culture of the Blacks. Like, he was just brilliant. So he said, I'm going to start up a campaign. When
yes,
he started it, I was part of his group. We were going places, doing great things. And then he left it in charge to me. They had to vote me in, and I just took it to another level when I was there. So it's just bridging the gap between the Black student body and the university institution itself, because you find that in places outside of London, it's not as diverse as one may think it is. It needs that voice to kind of push our narrative, push our culture, to get us heard. So it took a while, but we're
yeah.
edging closer day by day.
And you're, if you don't mind, 22, yes?
Yes, 22. Yeah.
22, yes. The the
Mhm.
the war sorry, before I go into that, a point is
Mhm.
in my head. What you have said right there is how when someone step into a position, how they can affect change.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
many times, sometimes people want to do things that, as Chrissy earlier was saying, she make things happen. She's not
Yeah.
waiting, and you can see
The
she's
game
vibrant.
changer.
You know, somebody might be put off by her red hair or whatever like that. I say I want
Mhm.
her to come back with her ears purple. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it is the fire and the ember which is the person that make the change. So when you're in those positions there,
Mhm.
you're seeing books that need to be done, lectures that you're seeing with the eyes. Isn't
Yes.
that saying then very well the argument about us putting ourselves in a position to occupy?
We need to be in these positions of power and these positions of authority to get things done. And
Yeah.
sometimes, dependent on the temperament of the person, that's not their forte, that's not their skill. But for
Mm.
someone like me, I can't just sit back and just have things done in a particular narrative that doesn't suit me. So I wanted to be in a position of power. I wanted to sit in student body meetings. I wanted to make decisions with the vice chancellors and stuff like that. If I could and get the opportunity to do it, that would have been great. So you need to position yourself in these spaces for
Mm.
things to get done. Because if there's people of a particular race making decisions based on another race that they have no experience in, it's a bit conflicting. Whereby if you have someone who's of that race who understands the challenges and you hear that person's voice, then it's like, okay, I can take that into account. Let's make a few changes. Let's get more Black lecturers in there. Let's
Yes.
start putting some Black authors in the library. Let's
Mm.
start getting more aides and assistants that are of rich color, not just Black, BAME, in general. So you have to occupy those spaces and be the game changer. You
Yeah.
have to.
So when the whole advent of like Black Lives Matters, well, George Floyd and what was happening with all demonstration,
Yeah.
what I love to ask first. Everybody goes through a different metamorphosis or whatever changes.
Hmm.
How did that resonate with you during that period? And COVID was going on at the same time with the lockdown.
This year is just wow. This year has just been a toxic year for everyone. And I feel like for me personally, it was a lot of flooding emotions, because what happened to George Floyd was just a great tragedy. But there's other things going on in the background that has been silenced. And it just took that one incident, that one case, to just open the eyes of the world to see that there is grave injustice going on. So as sad as it was that he had to be the person that, that thing happened to, it opened the eyes of everyone to see that there is institutional racism. Things aren't really what they seem. Justice needs to be pushed and promoted more. So in that season, I was just trying to educate as much people as possible, educate my church, for instance. The little I could do, I wanted to do. I didn't want to go protesting because at the time, COVID-19, and it wasn't safe for me personally to be out there and stuff like that. But the little I can do with my voice is what I did. Helped another sister out, put some talks on my social media, recommend some books that people could read, just giving people that wider knowledge, because you find that people are quite ignorant in the whole race topic or the race conversations going on. But if you can promote a book to someone, allow that person to be enlightened, you're changing a mindset. And it all starts in the mind for me. You're changing someone's mind, you're changing someone's perspective, you're changing the future generation and how they see race and how they view color. But as for the protesting and stuff, I couldn't do that. If I had my way, I would have. But I feel like people could have demonstrated their support in different ways, supporting Black businesses. It was a hard pill to swallow with that incident.
What I just picked up from you a while ago is the diversity of operation or actions that
Yeah.
people do during the course of a demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can pick up on that, for argument's sake,
Mm-hmm.
demonstration going on, people are going on to central London, somebody can't make it. What are the different things that young people can do then in protesting without being out there?
Being there with the action.
Yeah.
You could read books. You can make yourself more knowledgeable. You could read about the rights that you have. A lot of people don't know their rights, and I've been so grateful and so honored to work with the likes of Stephen Atkinsanya, who is just
Yes.
amazing. You need to associate yourself with people who are doing better, who are going places. You could support Black businesses. Even if you're supporting with £1 or you're sharing them on your socials, that's enough for you to do. You can talk to someone else who may be ignorant on the topic. These are all minor things that people can do to spread change. If there's something going on in your neighborhood, you write a letter to your local council, you make a petition, you send it around, you get people to sign it. These are small things that we can do from the comfort of our home. Some people aren't the national advocate types and standing there in central London. That's fine. There's other things that you can do. Start doing these discussions, which is something I love that you do. You make these discussions, you make people aware that this is what's going on, this is wrong. Our voice needs to be heard, we need to be stood up for. Small things like that, providing people a lot more peace of mind, because during that time it was terror. It was a lot going on. So
In regards to politics, then, what's your take on politics with young people being proactive in politics? Because on a student body with school as well, there's politics there because you have the student council. But in politics, Conservative, Labour, Lib Dem, what do you say to young people about getting involved?
I used to do UK youth politics, actually. So I used to go to UK Youth Parliament. I was really, really big and into that. And, as time went on, it kind of just died down, which I wish I could go back and pick up with what's going on now. But I would advise everybody to get into politics. I would advise everybody who is of the rightful age to vote. Your vote does matter. We shouldn't listen to the lies of old that say, you shouldn't vote, which of lesser evils,
Babylon,
you should vote.
Babylon system.
Exactly. Listen to that generation. We should vote. We should utilize our vote. We should make petitions. We should go and see our MPs. I had such a powerful experience whereby we went to Parliament with Stephen, and we went with one of Stephen's mentees to go see a woman in Parliament. So for me, sitting there and listening to her speak, I was like, wow, this is brilliant. Like, this is someone who is in some serious authority here. As she was speaking, I was just taking notes on my phone, giving us tips. We need to get ourselves into politics. Though people may see it as a bit of a hard stretch, like, Black folks don't really like getting into the politics, we're always beat down, our voices aren't heard. We need to keep pushing. So whether Conservative or Labour, do something.
Yes. Now, we had a discussion on Wednesday, and you weren't there, but you're aware of what the discussion was, and what the discussion was about the Black community doing the black community, mean to say taking responsibility. We've got systematic racism, racial discrimination, all this sort of thing, Black Lives Matters. But during the maze of that, and the demonstrations and the petitions, what do you see then as the black community can do to empower itself at the same time while those are happening?
What can you repeat that? So what can they do to empower themselves?
Yeah, what the black community can do to sort of move things ahead. Because, okay, let's back up again.
Mm-hmm.
It was a discussion regarding Trevor Phillips, who said black boys in gangs are ones who are more prone to kill each other more than the police.
Mm-hmm.
Many people took it a different way to say that he was pandering to the right-wing media.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually pandering to a particular audience. And then another side was saying, hey, is there any fact about that? Is there something that the community need to do? Is it a reality that black boys are killing themselves more than the police killing black boys? And if that's the case, then how can the community try to fix that instead of just saying police and government and funding and all those sort of things?
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought this question can be taken from an array of angles. Some may say it's parenting. Some may say people need to parent their children better and bring up their children better. You have primary socialization. Whatever your children learns is what they've learned in the home. Whatever skills they have, they've got it from the home. Then you have your secondary socialization when they go into schools and they have the peer pressure, they have the gang culture, they're exposed to different things outside of their home. Their eyes are open to their community and the drugs and stuff like that. It can be taken from an array of different perspectives, but I feel like it comes down to what you know. And it comes down to applying the knowledge that you have to better yourself. I feel like if you understanding of your community and you have an understanding of the wrongs that are going on in your community, you have a responsibility to fix it. And within yourself, you have a responsibility to do better and be better. So for someone like me, for instance, I come from a single parent home and my mom has done an amazing job in raising us. My sister, she's an engineer. My younger sister was in the top 9% of those who got the greatest GCSEs. I'm in my final year of law. We didn't allow the narrative of being a single parent in a black household with low income to just cause us to stick to that stigma, stick to that narrative. My mum wanted more for us. We had cases in our neighborhood of people dying nearly 3 times a month from stabbing, shooting, gang, police brutality, you name it. It was just like a case zone where we used to live. But it's down to the amount of knowledge that you feed your child. Like my mom was all about the black excellence, like you said. You can do more. You don't have to be a statistic of those girls who are pregnant before the age of 16. You can go to university. If you want to take an alternative route, you take that alternative route. She was constantly just filling us with the reassurance that your skin color is not a barrier. You can do better and you can be better. Strive for the opportunities that the whites have. Strive for the opportunities that the Asians are getting. You're no less than. So because of the knowledge she was filling us with, I didn't felt like race was anything to me. I just knew that I was as good as someone who's applying for that job. I knew that I was as good as someone who was going for the internship. I knew that I could be in those positions of power based on the knowledge that she was pouring into me. We didn't become a statistic based on our area, based on our income, based on our race. It's the knowledge that she filled us up with. So I believe that for the next generation, I'm not a parent yet, but we just need the knowledge. If you don't know something, learn about it and then apply the knowledge that you have. It's a lot easier said than done, but as I keep mentioning, Stephen, he just does some great work. He goes back into the schools and he starts off by saying, if you see me, you know it's game over. You don't want to see him when he's in the Supreme Court. You don't want to see him when he's in the Old Bailey. He's going back into the schools. He's going back to the secondary schools, telling them, look, you need to sort yourself out. This is the law. This is what the law says about joint enterprise. This is what the law says about if you kill your friend on the street and you video it and you record it. He's giving them that knowledge. He's providing them with the skills so they know that if there's a crime going on, you need to move away. You need to go home. You need to call the police. You need to advert. It's the knowledge. Imagine if he didn't do these talks. Imagine if he didn't go back to the schools and pour back into these children. They would just see it as another day on the streets. They don't have the knowledge or the skills. They haven't been equipped with what to do. So I think it's a knowledge-based problem, and it's an application-based problem. We need the knowledge, and we need the application.
The beauty of what I do is sitting and listening to words of gems coming from different persons from different age. As you mentioned, Stephen, I listen to Stephen a lot. We have been
he's
already. And what is resonating here, and is for anyone to listen to on purpose, we'll play this over and people can listen again, is a knowledge. You have set out the home, and you have said in your home, you could have been part of that statistics. People always say, of course, I say it as well as, where are the fathers, where are the fathers, where are the fathers? But of course, as you said, you're a single parent home. Yeah. But at the same time, your mother, she made sure that you had knowledge. And she burst in knowledge in you. I remember one time I was driving and I was saying to a guy, and I was meditating on a long journey. And it's like, I want to burst something in you. I want to burst something in you. And it is like what you're saying, what your mother is actually saying, I want to burst something into you. Burst something in you guys. So it goes in like an injection and swell through or spread.
Start spreading.
Yeah. And that is so powerful, because I always say that when children come back home from school, the home should be like a refresher.
A safe space.
A safe space where they can refresh themselves and go back out again, because you cannot get rid of the social interaction. With COVID now. With
COVID, 1 meter distance.
Nobody's interacting now, No, that is very powerful, and it shows you right there now, as the Bible talks about, that wisdom is not just by age. No. As in Job, it talks about there's a breath of wisdom that flows through a man, which is from God at the same time. And that is what I can see demonstrated with yourself. So tell me that. So how do you? Okay, I understand with the advocacy. What are the sort of stuff that you do? I know you go with Steve now. You can explain that.
So I own my own business called Sisters Keepers, and we use faith, mentoring, and coaching to help other young girls within my community in Bournemouth, and I'm trying to expand to get us going something in London as well. So we just provide them with support. We provide them with like a safe haven whereby they can share their feelings, share their thoughts on either abuse, relationships, family situations, the loss of people in their family. We just give them that safe space to talk, and we provide one-to-one mentoring. I do one-to-one mentoring with the girls. We have group sessions every week on a Wednesday with them, and we host events and conferences and stuff like that, which has been really successful. So that in itself is giving back. I may not know it all, but the little I have and the ear to listen is what some people really need. So I do that as well. And for a short time I was going around with Stephen to the different schools, which was such an experience, just listening to him pour back into the lives of students, telling the students that, look, your life can be a lot better than that. It's like it's a motivational, scary, fix your life up talk all at once. And at the end, you see the kids running to him saying, I want to be like you when I grow up. Stuff like that. You just live for it.
I said to Stephen all the while, I want to go. When I grow up, I want to be like him as well.
I want to be like Stephen. The female version of Stephen. So it's just like I do a lot of different things, but just
no, that's good, Nana, and I'm really glad that you came on and at short notice to really share your passion, and because, as I said, it demonstrates as well the whole why I'm doing this, that people can see that the preconceived notion sometimes of young people is so false and incorrect, because really and truly, I say it all the while, the majority of young people are doing great, they're excellent.
Absolutely.
But as you know, that doesn't bring news. What brings news is the
negative
and it becomes a big thing. And when you really check the statistics, actually more Black people or young people, let's say young people are successful, and therefore, as you rightly say, the narrative need to change. But I'm a person who says, instead of saying changing the narrative, just do it and let the actions. It's like what Stephen and we were talking about the other day. Somebody was saying, we want a Black prime minister, while other communities don't say anything. They just do what they're doing, and they're close to having a Black Asian prime minister.
You find them there.
Or somebody say, we want a Black James Bond, Well, others are saying, That's nothing to us. We don't want the black James Bond. We
Then
want to
they're in the
own.
spot.
We want to own all the James Bond.
Yeah.
So the mindset is something which I find very interesting, Nana, and it is something that gets me going. You know, when we talk about the mindset, because that is what shifts the whole conversation.
Yeah.
When persons actually see a different angle, hearing you, hearing Stephen, and actually saying, "Hey, a second, we can do that, man. I know there's racism. Yeah, racism is there, but hey,
it's important.
Too, yeah,
it's important. Like we just need to believe in ourselves and believe in our ability and believe in our calling. I remember I did an internship somewhere and I didn't even think I would get it. I did not believe I would get it. But in the midst of the internship is where I met Stephen. And in this internship, it just blew my mind with the opportunities that you had received. But before my mom would instill that you can just do it, apply, I was like, oh, I don't really think I'm gonna get it. I don't really think it's for me. But then when you're there in those spaces with these big people and these people of power and importance, you're like, I can really do this. And then someone else now seeing me is encouraged because I'm in that space and occupying that space. So when they get there, it's like a chain of reaction. Sometimes you just need to believe in yourself. But it's about seeing someone else in that space that gives you the confidence that you can go after that. You can become a lawyer. You can become a barrister. You can become a performer. You just need to see someone that you aspire to be and then just rally after what they've done. Get help, ask for help, get mentorship. These are the things that the Black community need to be told. It's not a one-man band. We can't do things by ourselves. We need people's advice. We need people to mentor us. We need people to pour into this community. Those who have gone ahead, they need to come back with all their gems and start feeding it out to the rest of the people, feeding it out to the rest of the boys, giving back to the girls, the single mothers, so that we can all make it. If you look at the Asian community, they're so tight. One Asian owns one house and then the other owns the next. And it's like, that's how they are with their businesses. They spread their knowledge on how they make their wealth. Same with the Jews. They spread their knowledge on how they obtain their power and keep their money. We need that same sort of spirit and community, within us.
Well, I guess we have all the experiences of the best practices, and it's just to really do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it. I have not said anything. I let Nana spoke and I let Chrissy spoke. And, I just sit back and what I do, I just enjoy and I take in myself because it's blessed to give than to receive, as they say. And the more that you give, just to encourage you and also Chrissy, the more that you guys give, you'll find that your capacity to receive expands. It expands. That's why I always say, just give. Don't worry about it, because the Bible says the more you give, the more you receive. Seed time, harvest time. What you sow, you reap. And it comes back bountifully. Shake it over, rock it.
Yes, Lord. I believe.
I believe. Yes, let's have church now, so we don't have to go to church tomorrow. Listen, Chrissy, listen, I want to thank you so much for coming on. No, sorry, Chrissy. Yes, earlier, I want to thank you for coming on. And Nana, thank you so much for coming on tonight. And listen, and as I said, young people or so, I want to create this space and feel free because there's always different issues. COVID is coming back or whatever. What do young people say?
Not.
No, I was giving an example there.
Make a declaration.
No. Well, according to some people are saying it's here. Tony Blair just said it will air forever. Everybody have their
conspiracy theory on the
virus. Everybody. As a matter of fact, did you notice how so many people became experts? On stuff during the course of this.
I heard so many different. I didn't even know what to believe by the end of it. So.
Oh, the worst one was that it doesn't affect Black people, and that's a
lie.
That was one that really makes things, But anyway, that's another conversation which we won't have. Because COVID is gone.
Amen.
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much, and we'll speak again, and of course we'll be on the circuit with Stephen as well. And have a good night. Okay.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much again for joining, and thank you so much for Chrissy, and thank you also as much as possible for Nana for closing off with some exciting words. And what she talked about is that we need to just do it. Listen to her mother, and her mother just say, do it. Don't just sit back, just do it. build that capacity in her so much, and that capacity is what made a difference. And we all have that capacity to do great things, but tomorrow night, I just want to go on to tomorrow night. I have across the Atlantic. Cross the Atlantic is whereby I go across to the United States, or I go across to Jamaica, and I find someone and I say, let's talk about what's happening in your quest of the world. And I've got Mr. Marlon Hill, a candidate for the Miami-Dade County Commission District 9. Marlon Hill I know for a long time because we were involved with the Jamaica diaspora from inception in 2004, I believe, in Jamaica. A Miami business partner with law firm of Hamilton Millen Bristol, is past president of the Caribbean Bar Association, trustee board member of the Miami Foundation, and former diaspora advisory board member of Southern United States. And he's on this massive campaign and he's fired up. And I said, listen, my brother, I want to be a part of your campaign. Doesn't matter which side of the politics is on. And I said, yes, let's do it. So I wanted to play this quick video of tomorrow night. I look a quick snippet of what's going to be like. And here we go. On the late one this Saturday night, join us.
I'm Marlon Hill, and I'm running to be your next county commissioner for District 9. My wife Carla and I have resided in our district for over 35 years. Our district has grown from a farming community to a dynamic multicultural region. But our district has also been disconnected from the rest of the county. As your commissioner, I want to expand our transportation options, keep our families safe, and create an economy that works for all. I'm Marlon Hill, and on August 18th, let's bring a new day to District 9.
Okay, and that's Marlon Hill tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm looking forward to see you. And it's going to be at 10 o'clock tomorrow night because of time difference, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 10 p.m. British Standard Time. And please come on and check it out and listen to Marlon. Let's support him. We need to take up space. As we were talking with Stephen, we need to occupy. Thank you so much for joining. And I'll see you around. I'm Silver. Thanks.